There you go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the old State House. As part of this year's Comic-Con weekend, delving into historical and cultural affairs brings you a mystery starring one of the most famous characters in all of literature, Sherlock Holmes. So, join us, won't you, as we travel back in time across the ocean to 241B Baker Street in London, where we encounter
It has been many weeks since I have seen my dear friend Sherlock Holmes, and many weeks more since he has worked on a case of any note. I fear his state of boredom may provoke one of his more manic fits. I resolved to visit him and perhaps seek out a distraction.
No, thank you, Mrs. Hudson. I have neither the time nor the patience right now. For the last time, I will not suffer your foolish interruptions as I attempt to work on something of great importance too. Ah, Watson. Wonderful to see you, my dear friend. Please do come in.
Thank you, Holmes.
I trust you'll find everything to be in its proper place.
Are you having problems with Mrs. Hudson again?
Oh, no more than usual.
Well, I see that your commitment to tidiness is as always.
My mind has more important matters to attend to than the organization of simple baubles and trinkets.
Can I assume you have a new case then?
Certainly not. Whatever put that thought in your mind?
Well, you said...
There's nothing, John. Nothing at all. No cases, no crimes, no conspiracies worth a single moment's consideration. Even Scotland Yard is twiddling their thumbs.
Well, perhaps there's something in this stack of mail here.
Oh, that rubbish pile.
Let's see, business correspondence?
Throw it in the fire.
Here's a letter. Let's see what this says. This looks to be from Norwich. There we go. You know, letters are so hard to open sometimes.
Well, just think of the people who are writing them.
Well, this letter appears to be from Mr. Henry Llewellyn, who says that 200 pounds has gone missing from his home.
Which I'm sure Mrs. Llewellyn would prefer over the fact of her husband being nothing more than a common gambler and lush.
Okay, so much for that one. Looks like an advertisement.
Add it to the rest.
And another letter, let's see here. Oh, this one is from a Miss Margaret Moore, who is saying that her fiancé, Mr. Thomas Winlock, has gone missing 3 weeks prior to the writing of this letter.
Oh, it's practically exciting. Winlock is a rather stately family, wouldn't you agree?
Certainly.
Obviously, his parents did not approve of such a lowly engagement and pressured him to break it off. At least they spared Miss Moore the shame of publicly ending the arrangement.
Okay, so much for that one. You got an invitation here.
Add it to the rest. Thank you.
And this one is postmarked Dover.
Dover? What crime is there in Dover of all places?
Well, probably something terribly important, because we all know how important Dover is. It looks like a rather strange murder has taken place. A Mary Louisa Cannon was recently found dead in her bed. There's apparently no witnesses, no suspects, and no motive. And her parents are absolutely begging for your assistance.
Well, that's clearly a matter for the inspectors.
Well, it appears that they're also at a loss.
Well, hardly surprising. They must have Lestrade running their investigations, too.
Well, shall I throw in the rubbish pile with the others then?
Dead woman, no suspects, no witnesses, no motivation.
Shall I take it you're interested?
You know, my mind rebels at stagnation. Give me problems. Give me work. Give me the most abstruse cryptogram or intricate analysis, and I am in my own atmosphere.
Then we'll pursue it.
Certainly we shall. Come on, Watson. The game is afoot.
Always forget to turn off the lights. I was having information regarding our true destination from my friend Mr. Holmes, knowing the fight we were getting, and my assumption proved absolutely true when I was notified the intended destination was not Carolina, but rather Delaware in the United States. Poor Holmes was so overwhelmed by what he called a dreadful punishment and sentence to a crime he did not commit, that he nearly threw himself from our living carriage. Thankfully, I feel his desire for a new puzzle in a nation without their own Sherlock Holmes. After 8 long days and many passionate discussions about the mistake Holmes believed we were making, we arrived in Delaware and resolved to search for the piano.
Oh, what a horrible trip that was.
Yes, Holmes, after 8 days on that ship, I certainly know all about your feelings.
Am I right in deducing that we will be talking to the family of the deceased?
Well, you are correct.
Well, let us make haste.
There's someone at the door. Hello, gentlemen. How can we help you today?
Well, good day. My name is Dr. Watson from England, and this is my friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. We've come in response to your letter about the recent tragedy.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
What's that here?
With a Dr. Watson and a Mr. Holmes. They've come to help us with the daughter Mary's murder case here.
Oh, how wonderful. Sirs, please come in. Make yourself comfortable. Can we offer you something to drink?
No thank you, Mrs. Cannon.
It won't be necessary. All I require is the facts as they are.
Well, what would you like to know?
Everything. When was your daughter last seen? Who was she with? Did she have friends? Enemies?
Enemies? What normal person would have enemies?
You would be surprised.
Well, Mr. Holmes, to answer your question about our daughter, we last saw her 3 weeks ago. She went to a party. It was thrown by her dear friend, Rebecca Wilson. But the next morning we found her in her room, dead.
Anything else? Any other people she may have had contact with? A gentleman, perhaps?
Well, only Mr. Thomas Rowell.
And who, by chance, is Mr. Thomas Rabbit?
Just a gentleman who's married. Would have made a wonderful relationship.
Quite interesting.
Holmes?
Suppose Mary rejected his feelings. Perhaps she foolishly and callously scorned him, wounded him in anger, and he seeking vengeance.
How dare you insult our daughter and bring added grief to our home? I must ask you to leave our home at once.
Perhaps my assessment is too close to its mark. And suppose you do not know your daughter quite as well as you presume. Perhaps your denial and your naive understanding of both this world and your daughter have blinded you.
Clearly, you're making a bad situation even worse. Can't you see the family's grieving?
Mr. Holmes, please stop saying those awful things about our daughter.
I ask you to leave our home now, Mr. Holmes.
I must apologize for my friend's cold demeanor. Although he is quite brilliant, mankind continues to elude him.
Thank you. The thing that I worry the most about is my grieving wife. She isn't taking this well at all.
Yes, I can see that.
Anything you could possibly do to help?
Well, as a man of medicine, I suppose I could prescribe a sedative.
A sedative?
Yes.
That would be wonderful. A sedative, dear.
Let me see. I know I have that somewhere in here. Okay. This is Canada, so just give me your arm. And you might feel a slight pinch.
A slight
pinch.
Thank you, Dr. Watson.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. Perhaps we'll now get a good night's sleep.
I hope so.
Oh, Doctor,
Yes.
before I forget,
Yes.
there were some other people at that party. Let me write some of those names down. Betty, and Frank, Elijah. Yes, and sweet Maybelle, and Letitia. Here, sir. Maybe if you ask them, they could probably help you with the case.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry to have disturbed you so much.
Oh, not at all.
I hope to have good news for you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for responding to our letter, Doctor.
You're welcome. Well, Holmes, I deduce that you have a theory already.
It's a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Insensibly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts. Rather, there are pieces, ideas, small matters most would choose to ignore. I may have had better luck had the family been more agreeable to my questioning.
Well, honestly, Holmes, couldn't you see that they were still in grief and we made the situation worse? Sometimes I truly wonder where your heart is.
I am a brain, Watson. The rest of me is a mere appendix.
Well, that may be, but it might help us if you didn't insult everyone that we meet on this trip.
Oh, maybe you're right. Perhaps this trip has left me far more exhausted than I care to admit. I'm quite tired. There must be a hotel nearby where we can set up our camp, so to speak.
Holmes and I settled in the Bayou Hotel for the day. I have rarely seen that man sleep for as long as he did that night. I hope the sleep as Dorothy's sharper edges. Nonetheless, I found the night so peaceful, I myself fell asleep quite quickly. When we awoke the next morning, we resolved to see the inspectors to learn what information they had uncovered. Just ahead of us here, Holmes. Now, remember your manners.
I promise to be on my best behavior.
Well,
That night of sleep is all that I require to remember proper decorum.
Well, I'm relieved to hear that.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Yes, my name is Dr. John Watson of London, England, and this is my associate, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. We have been asked to assist in the investigation of Mary Cannon's recent death.
Asked by whom?
The family of the deceased. Her parents believed you may require additional help with your investigation, and as an expert in criminality, I was naturally required.
Right. Well, come on.
Thank you.
Why, Holmes, I don't think I've ever seen you this cordial.
So, kind of information did you need?
Cannon's death 3 weeks ago?
Well, we know she was at a party with friends and fell ill afterward.
Were there multiple reports of illness?
Doctors around here do report multiple instances. Yeah, it seems like they all got sick, but it's probably just something they ate or drank. I suspect Miss Cannon had a stronger reaction to it, and that's what killed her, really.
Could we see a copy of the autopsy report?
No, but the investigation is still ongoing, and that information is not accessible to the public.
Could you maybe provide us with some of the details of that report?
No, again, not accessible to the public.
Maybe we can perform our own autopsy. Would it be possible to examine the cadaver ourselves?
No, she was buried last Tuesday.
Isn't there some information you can give us?
There's two things I can share with you. One, I did not call you. And two, I do not need you.
So I feel as though we've gotten off to a bad start here, gentlemen. I think maybe we just were asked to come and help. And we've meant no disrespect to yourself or your fellow law enforcement officers. Surely there's something.
Clearly we will get nothing from this Pinkerton.
I'm a respected officer of the court, and I won't be compared to one of those goons.
Come along, Watson. This man has strikers to kill.
Holmes?
I mind your tone. I represent the law around here.
I am not the law, but I represent justice so far as my feeble powers go.
Well, that may be. That gives you no right to come here and dictate my investigation.
If you were conducting your investigation correctly, I would not have been called for. So perhaps you should consider that. Come along, Watson.
I think it's probably time for you and your friend to go. Back to your scones, your lousy food, and that smarmy little queen.
Your words have gotten away from you. Insult me all you like, but I will not stand here as you insult the symbol of our industrious empire. Least of all from a Pinkerton.
That's it. Fight me like a man.
This is no fight. This is a morning scratch.
Was all that truly necessary, Holmes?
That man insulted our queen, Watson. Who am I? Not a patriotic felon.
Well, I'd say you can but.
Oh, Mr. Holmes. Take that as a fond farewell from good old Uncle Sam.
Despite my optimism, Holmes continued to address the situation. Although, I must say, I'm not sure anyone could have handled that situation differently. We returned to a hotel where I revealed that despite giving me time to find the house, we discovered only one fact. Mary Cannon was poisoned by a law enforcement law. Unfortunately, with no suspect, I was not sure even Sherlock Holmes could solve this case. We located a few of the friends Mr. Cannon had told us about and arranged to meet with them outside of the room. Well, I contacted Sarah Dixon, William Franklin, and Jacob Johnson, and they should be meeting us here soon, Holmes.
Yes, I believe that I see them here. You there, who are you?
Jacob Johnson, sir.
What do you remember about Rebecca Wilson's party 3 weeks ago?
I remember I was talking to, who was I talking to again? I know it was a woman, I think. Yeah, definitely a woman. I don't remember who though.
Stop! Please stop. You're lowering the collective intelligence of the area. You! Who are you?
I'm Sarah Dixon. Who are you?
I am Sherlock Holmes. My associate, Dr. Watson, contacted you. Do you happen to remember anything about that party?
I remember hearing some kind of argument. I don't know who it was, but it was bad. I wish I could remember more. but I was so ill afterwards, I was in bed for 3 days. When I recovered, I heard Mary had died. Poor girl. I'm glad I was lucky enough to recover.
And you, Mr.
William Franklin, sir.
Yes, what can you tell us about the parties?
Well, I overheard a plot. I think the mayor was involved. Maybe they may have gone all the way up to the governor's office. Pretty big.
You know
Lots
nothing.
of important people involved.
You know nothing.
Well, thank you all for your help. We will be going now. That was a complete waste of time, Holmes.
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
We walked back to our room and found the telegram reading for us. It was sent by Mary Shannon's friends with Dr. Wilson. The list is just an hours of the paper. We now have a few steps away from our hotel.
Are you sure about the location and time, Watson?
Absolutely. Mr. Becker Wilson asked us to meet her here at 7:30.
Mr. Holmes?
Miss Wilson, I presume.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. I see you received my telegram. How's the investigation going?
You know about it.
I know that a Mr. Sherlock Holmes is here to investigate my dear friend's death and has managed to anger at least half the city.
She certainly has you figured out, Holmes.
What can you tell me about Mary Cannon's death? I understand she was attending your party.
Miss Wilson?
I'm sorry. My apologies. It's just very difficult to talk about. She was so dear to me.
Well, no, but please, any information you can give us would be helpful.
All right. Well, she was at my party because we were to be celebrating.
Celebrating what exactly?
Well, her engagement to Mr. Thomas Rather, of course. I was so happy for her.
Were you, though? You say you were, but the tone in your voice, it says otherwise.
Holmes, she's clearly distraught, as anyone would be if they lost someone close to them.
How else that person wished them harm?
How dare you?
Oh, not again, Holmes.
This time is different, Watson. She is lying. I cannot prove it, but I know she is.
I do not lie, sir. She came to my house, I poured her a few drinks, and the last I saw of her, she went to bed.
Watson, would you say a beverage is an opportune vessel to disguise laudanum?
Technically speaking?
That's what I figured. And what was the motivation? Were you jealous of her engagement to Thomas Rather? Afraid of becoming a spinster? No, that seems too common. Too simplistic.
Holmes, how can you be sure you are right this time?
I had my suspicions when the family first mentioned it, Miss Wilson.
You accuse me based on nothing more than a hunch?
I was mistaken with my theory regarding Mr. Rather. I assumed Mary had spurred his advances, but with Miss Wilson's statement that she accepted his proposal, that theory is gone. I also noted that during our first night in town, Miss Wilson was seen walking the perimeter of this very building, asking passerbys about it. I cannot say with certainty, but she seemed to be mouthing, "Is that Sherlock Holmes?"
But whenever did you notice that?
While you were sleeping. Did you mistake my quiet that night for sleep? I was gathering my thoughts. And when I noticed you had gone to bed, I decided to observe my surroundings. Data, Watson, data. I cannot make books without play. Now then, Miss Wilson, confess.
I'm sorry, confess to what?
That you killed Mary Cannon out of pure jealousy.
Jealousy? What would I be jealous of?
Her engagement to Thomas Rather. That he chose her instead of you.
Holmes, this is just crazy.
I loved him. I always loved him.
But he hurt you. So you decided you would hurt him in ways he could not imagine by murdering your own friend.
Friend? She was no friend of mine. What kind of friend ignores the feelings of someone she's supposed to care about? I hated her. I didn't want her to know yet, though, so I invited her over, we poured a few drinks, and when the time was right, I poured enough laudanum in her drink to kill a horse. It was perfect.
I don't understand.
Watson, how often have I told you when you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth? Now then, let us take Miss Wilson to the police.
No! I'm not going anywhere. Besides, without a confession, who's going to believe you? The man who assaulted a police officer and insulted almost the entire town and insulted the parents. No, I think I'm going to stay right here.
Fine. And we shall let Thomas Rather find you. How do you think he'd feel about you killing his fiancée?
I think he'd be rather happy about it.
So, she was your fiancée.
I made a mistake. Rebecca showed that to me, but the engagement had already been announced. It would be bad form, after all, for me to call it off so suddenly.
But if she died?
Then how tragic for Mr. Thomas Rather to lose his fiancée. But with time found comfort in the arms of Mary's friend. Two grieving people who only have each other.
So you poison Mary, make sure to poison everyone else as well. What a brilliant plan it was.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
I truly have no idea where this is going.
If Mary was the only one poisoned, it would arouse suspicion. Clearly they put enough laudanum in everyone's drink, so they also felt ill. Mary would have appeared to have a stronger reaction to it and died of nothing more than a simple, common, shared illness. And then Mr. Rather brought her back to her family's home, correct?
Correct, Mr. Holmes. She said she was feeling ill. I assured her everything would be okay.
You're just not human.
That may be, but I think we'll be going now, Mr. Holmes. Don't try to follow us.
Well, Holmes, let me see your hands.
It's nothing, Watson. There are more important matters to attend to. Quickly, we must find the police.
We did return to the police station, only to discover their reluctance to accept the claims of Mr. Sherlock Holmes, who had us also officer along. Holmes and I pleaded with them to listen to our advice and arrest the Dr. Wilson and Dr. Brown, but so said they would take under consideration. When we returned to the flat at Baker Street, we found a letter written to us. Well, it seems to be from the parents of Mary Ann.
Dear Mr. Holmes, we wish to thank you for your unique way of assisting our family. We were heartbroken to hear that Rebecca Wilson was arrested for our daughter's murder. To think it was someone we had welcomed into our home so many times before. We also learned of her claim that the poisoning was accidental. That while they were knowingly using that horrible ingredient in their drinks, she did not mean to kill our daughter. I can't help but feel she is lying, and I fear justice will not be met. We appreciate that you tried to help us. Sincerely, Mr. and Mrs. Cannon.
So the police take my advice and arrest Wilson, but ignore my plea to testify. Truly a miscarriage of justice.
Well, perhaps this should be a lesson to you, Holmes.
Certainly it is. Never trust the inspectors with anything as grave as a case like this.
Oh, that's not... Never mind. I do, however, have just one thing I still don't quite understand.
Oh, what's that?
Why was Mr. Thomas Rather not arrested?
I suspect that in the spirit of his inhumanity, he fled, abandoning Miss Wilson to take the blame.
You suspect? Well, not to make light of such a terrible tragedy, but perhaps this is an instance when Sherlock Holmes was actually bested by a case.
There's nothing more to be said or done tonight, so hand me over my violin and let us forget for half an hour the miserable weather and the still more miserable ways of our fellow men.
Well, I wish I could, my friend, but as you know, we've been away for several weeks, and I surely have patients that need tending to, so I must be off.
Well then, until our next meeting, my friend.
Good luck, Holmes, and try not to get too bored.
I make no promises. Mrs. Hudson! Mrs. Hudson! Oh, where is that infernal woman? Always underfoot when I need peace, and yet when I need her, she's nowhere to be found. Mrs. Hudson! Why even bother having a landlady if she can't come when called? I'll take care of this myself. Don't worry, Mrs. Hudson. I'll take care of it, as per usual. Watson!
I shall remember this case as one Sherlock Holmes could not solve, not because of any deficit in his reasoning or deductive skill, but because of Sherlock Holmes' inability to be anything but Sherlock Holmes. I can only hope this will serve as a humbling lesson for him. The only time so come. I must say, this reminds me of an early case in our time working together. And while Rebecca Wilson certainly was not the woman, she was a mother who invested in our friend, Mr. Holmes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending our presentation of The Empty Glass. Sherlock Holmes comes to Dover. Delaware, not anymore. This story that you've just seen was based on a real-life case that happened here in this very building in 1826. Rebecca Wilson and Mary Louise Cannon were the real people in the case, with Rebecca Wilson being found guilty of killing Mary Cannon. The trial determined that Rebecca Wilson was guilty of manslaughter after giving Mary Cannon a lethal dose of laudanum. The other names, Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, and all works of eviction to help bring the story to life. And now, to introduce our cast in the reverse order. Amber George as Nikki Hodgson as Jeff Boyer was our police officer. Susan Emery as Mrs. Cannon. Stephen Mumford as Mr. Cannon. Gavin Malone as Chris Paul as Mr. Sherlock. We would also like to thank the HCM care team, maintenance team, Bill Skosick, and Matt Boyer. Thank you and have a great time.
You're free!
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Peace.